Welcome, friends. This is my week 3 update of The Artist Way book by Julia Cameron, and it has been an amazing journey so far for me. I think I think one of the best things about this book is the fact that it's loaded with some psychological tricks and activities that typically helps you get into touch with your own self. And I think being an artist, there is no bigger gift than to be able to know what you feel about, know more about yourself. And I think it's all about self-expression. And one of the specific statements from the book that I remember very well, and it kind of typically ran home to me completely, was that creativity or artistic activity is an activity of self expression. Even if it is not making sense to anybody else, if it is something that is making sense to you, then that's enough. And because artistic activity is about self expression, you cannot express yourself unless there is a self to express. And that was quite a profound statement to me. You cannot express yourself unless there is a self to express. And all the activities in this book put you in touch with yourself. And that is why the book says that some of these things can be uncomfortable, some of these things can make you angry, upset, frustrated, or maybe make you feel sad as well. And there are two things that can potentially happen while you're doing these exercises, and those exercises are not just about writing the morning pages or the artist date on a weekly basis, but also some of the questions that she says we should explore. When you do those activities, you could potentially be either very excited about it or feel very sad, and that is because the both the extremes of our emotions are not something that are ideal for us. If something makes us very sad, then that is not good for us. Something that makes us very happy also, that is also not good for us. uh, the writing down of these thoughts typically puts you in a lane which is true to yourself. So for example, if you are in love with someone, then you might be super excited. uh, when you want to write about it in morning pages, maybe your real self will tell you that it's not as great as you think it to be, but we don't want to burst the bubble, so we don't want to address it, and that's why we probably will not want to write our morning pages. On the other hand, if you are feeling extremely sad, again, you wouldn't want to write morning pages because it will probably expose you to confront that thought and tell you that maybe things are not as bad as you are thinking them to be. And this part has definitely happened to me. The sad part has definitely happened to me through the morning pages. What I thought were end of the world were not really an end of the world. That was the insight I got from writing the morning pages. So that has been a big highlight for me, a big excitement for me that you don't really have to take things completely at a face value. What has happened in week 3 also for me is that I have not been able to complete some of the new activities that were added in week 3. I continued with morning pages for weekly artist dates. I anyway have my morning routine of going for the swim and the run, so I consider those as my artist date because I'm with myself during those 1.5 hours. I can think without any interruptions and so on and so forth. So, and that's an activity that I really enjoy doing. So I'm not doing artist date separately. In fact, I'm doing it more frequently than what the book recommends because I'm doing it on a daily basis. What I've noticed is that the added activities I have not been able to do for two reasons, and the book also calls these things out as well. One is lack of time, and the second one is I just get stuck writing about myself. And maybe because I get stuck writing about myself, it's taking me longer time, and that is why I'm not able to complete them. That's why I feel they are not completed because of lack of time. But it's really about the fact that the more difficult you find something to do, less likely you're going to do it. And because it is more difficult to do, it is going to take longer time, and that is why you will say, because of lack of time, you're not doing it. The truth is, because it is difficult, you are not doing it, because it is going to take you longer time, and then you think because of lack of time, you are not doing it. And what the book also says, that anything that, oh God, what the book also says, that anything that is more difficult to do is something that you should be doing, because that is most needed for you. That's also a great insight, and that's exactly what I have not been able to do, because the book expects me to look inside myself and come up with some answers. I'm finding that part difficult. I just feel that I don't know myself well enough, and I think that is definitely a limiting factor for me in many aspects. I and there are quite a few things. I'll probably just try and read them out as well. But by the way, this is my morning pages. It's roughly an A4 size book with just white sheets in it, and I just keep writing every morning 3 pages of it. So that's how it looks. I use a green pen. I just like to have a green pen there, and I just keep writing those pages down as things kind of come to me. So I think some of the questions that the book has, which I'm struggling to kind of complete, is like, your favorite childhood toy. That was an easy one. I had a red tractor, actually, and the book says that, some of the things that will make you happy, why don't you typically do them? And one suggestion was, if you had a favorite childhood toy, why don't you go and buy it? And that's exactly what I did. So what I did was, I bought this red tractor, which is not exactly the same as I had as a child, and I probably had it for a very very short period of time. But I actually had very fond memories of it, and I think it got misplaced or something like that, and I felt very bad about it. But I just went online, and I bought one small uh, toy tractor for myself. I felt very good about it. It's not exactly the same. Mine one was metal. This one is plastic. Probably not happy with the quality of it, but that's all right. I just felt good about doing something for myself, which was quite good, I felt, and also the fact that I could relive those memories. I think that was quite good for me. Um, so that was an easy one. But some of the slightly more difficult one is, I don't do it much, but I enjoy. What is the activity? I couldn't come up with an answer for that. If I could lighten up a bit, I would let myself do dash. Again, I could not come up with that as well. Quite a few things. Taking time out for myself is, I don't know, because I sometimes I feel that I'm anyway doing what I enjoy doing, and I am anyway attached to the things that I'm doing. There are not too many disruptions, so I kind of, it's a difficult thing to explain. I think on one hand, I feel I'm already doing what I like to do, and on the other hand, I just still don't know much about myself. So there is something that needs to change, and I don't know what that thing is. Hopefully, I'll continue through this process. And by the way, I also felt that because it's week 3, 21 days, they say it takes 21 days to form a habit, and typically, because I've been writing morning pages for 21 days so far, I should have formed the habit of writing morning pages. But honestly, I don't think that is true, because I feel just because you've done an activity for 21 days doesn't mean it has formed into an habit. the more important factors that decide whether something becomes a habit or not, or something that you can do consistently over a longer period of time, is driven by two factors. One is how do you really enjoy doing it, and number two is, do you really have a strong enough why to do that? Is it coming something from a very strong goal that you have put for yourself? Only then you will be able to enjoy that activity, and then because you're enjoying it, you're more likely to find time and put it into your routine and continue doing it. Right now I don't know how I'm going to take those 40-45 minutes out every morning to do that. I've struggled in week 3 because the moment I lost that morning window to do it, if I tried to do it during the day, I wasn't able to do them all 3 pages in one go, and the quality suffered and my speed suffered because of that. Something that should have taken 40 minutes to complete has taken sometimes 1.5 hours to complete, purely because it was not uninterrupted time and attention given to it. I think the second part was the self pampering. So multiple activities mentioned in the book. Focus at least in week 3 and 2. Focus on pampering yourself. Minor things like buying that tractor that was my toy as a child. I think that definitely helped me a lot, um, and that definitely puts me in a nice mind frame that I don't have to wait for others to create something for me, do something for me that will make me feel good. I should just take those steps myself and do it. And pampering can be a small thing like, potentially just buying the candies that you liked as a child. And by the way, I I I have now those candies that I used to enjoy, and they're superbly inexpensive. I used to enjoy them as a kid, and thankfully my wife bought them for me, because I suggested. Buying the tractor, small things, small changes make me very happy. Or it could be bigger changes like buying your favorite car or changing your job to a dream company, or buying a new house. It could be anything that you want to do. I think one of the things that I would really want to do is do a triathlon. Currently, my specific health problems are not going to allow me to forget about triathlon, but to even think about completing my first marathon, that is not going to happen. So maybe that's an area I would need to invest more in. Maybe I need to start seeing a physiotherapist and get my knees fixed, so that by the end of this year I'm able to complete my first marathon. And also I'll have to make changes, so I can't go for swimming every day. I'll have to split between swimming and running. But if that's the goal I want to chase, then I should be willing to pay price for that. And I think the other positive thing that has happened is the relationships. So my personal relationships have improved during this time, and that's because I have written down in my goals that I want to improve my relationships, and because that is a goal that is firmly set in my mind, I am actively working towards this. There have been lapses where I've just gone back into the old habits and just followed the same behavior, which has given me the same results, which have typically not been ideal. But going forward, I'm kind of making those changes, and I'm hoping that those changes will go in the right direction. I think that's probably about it so far for week 3. My recommendation for anyone who is trying to do this is, try and be yourself. These exercises will require time commitment, but more importantly, they will require you to face yourself, to go deeper into who you are. And I think that is going to be a journey. May be pleasant, may not be pleasant, maybe both. But that's a journey you will most likely take once in a lifetime, because this takes a lot of effort. So do write down notes so that when you look back at that journey, you will know exactly how you went through it and how you were able to discover yourself through this journey. That's one. And I think the second part of morning pages and the artist way book and various exercises given in it is that they come from a lot of psychological um, research, I guess. Whether the author did the research herself or has read a lot of stuff in that area, I'm not too sure what her background is. but I feel she has given some really good tools to work with, and one should definitely at least try these tools. Be consistent in it. This book, I think, will not work if you take a break from it. You have to start when you're ready to start, and then you have to do it every day, week on week, for 12 weeks. If you take a break, I think going back, probably because you've gone through half the journey, your results may not be the same. That's what I feel. And that is what I'm trying to do. Since I've started, I don't want to stop. I want to complete these 12 weeks and see how it goes. On the writing part, even now I haven't started writing anything new, and that is fine. I'm okay to take that time. uh, Writing morning pages itself is taking 45 minutes of my time, so I'm struggling with time commitments, I think. But I will not obviously force myself to do something, but I'm excited that I'm thinking about what that creative pursuit should be, what that book should be, and I'm definitely looking at the larger picture, and I feel that is something that I owe to this world. The sacrifices that my parents have made to make sure that I got the education and got the upbringing that would put me in a position to help others. I should be able to use my skills and my experience to help others, and that's my legacy that I want to leave behind, and that would be the approach for my writing as well. That's what I hope to do. So that's it for week 3 so far. Extremely pleased with what I've achieved so far. Not so pleased about the fact that I have not been able to do a lot of new exercises because I just don't know myself well enough to be able to do those exercises, and I don't know how to, um, you know, get over that limitation. Hopefully, I will find a way out of it. But so far, it's been a great journey, and I hope to come back again in week 4 next weekend and give you an update. Till then, take care.